Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a brand new Madden Mobile video. We are here and we are about to just get into it. We are talking about Madden Mobile 21 and we are breaking down some of the updated news and features that will be coming to Madden Mobile 21, and I want to explain what we like to call archetypes. And these are basically ways that you distribute overall in Madden Mobile. So we were able to watch a video and kind of a stream where some of the developers showed these screenshots you see on the screen right now, and they talked about what the difference is in the upcoming Madden Mobile 21, which is going to be a brand new separate app. They talked about what's the difference between like a deep threat receiver and a slot receiver. So one of the cards here that you can see, and just kind of to preface this image, all the stats are the same on both the 66 John Ross and the 69 John Ross, just to showcase what we're trying to explain here. The stats will be uniquely different depending on the overall. So the stats here do not properly reflect the current overall and the card. But as you can see here, we have a John Ross III 66 wide receiver and a John Ross 69 overall wide receiver. Now, the reason the 69 is 3 overall higher is because the archetypes is basically how you categorize a player. So an archetype for a wide receiver could be, there's a slot receiver archetype, there's a deep threat type. So you have these different types, and we all know personally that John Ross is very much a burn and go deep threat sort of wide receiver. Now, is he, the best receiver ever? No. He hasn't necessarily proven himself. I mean, I think week 1 or week 2 against Seattle, my Seahawks in Seattle, he burned our team for like 120 plus yards. But John Ross, over the course of his career, has been kind of known as he's the speed guy. He's the deep threat guy. He has the fastest 40-yard dash. So John Ross is going to naturally be a higher overall, as you can see here, when he is considered a deep threat receiver than when he is being played as a slot receiver, which is the 66 overall card. So as a slot receiver, John Ross isn't really the type of wide receiver that can easily get in between linebackers like other wide receivers that are more skilled in the slot. So as you can see here, when we get Madden Mobile cards, we're going to be able to play Madden Mobile cards within different schemes, with different archetypes, and depending on how the cards are, put onto your team or designed, you're going to want to make sure that you get the card that is in the correct type, because I would much rather have the John Ross 69 overall because he's a deep threat rather than the slot 66 overall John Ross, because that's not going to be nearly as good, and we're not using the full potential of the players. So another example here is, to kind of give you more explanation, is a Tom Brady. So right now, the 77 overall Tom Brady, and again, the stats are irrelevant for this picture, they will change based off the overall. So if you're like, why are the 77 overall stats the same as the 81? That's just because of the screenshot. The 81 stats will actually be higher because we all know that the overall is basically a summary of how good the player is going to perform on the field in the 3D model. So 77 overall quarterback right here, this is the mobile scrambling quarterback. So when I take the mobile scrambling archetype and say, let's put Tom Brady in there, he's going to be a 77 base, because Tom Brady as a scrambler is not efficient. So he's going to be a 77 overall. But if we would consider Tom Brady as a field general quarterback, he actually jumps up to 81 overall, because he would be considered a solid field general archetype player. So this is kind of how they're going to be organizing some of the players, and this is kind of an explanation as to what really is going on with the players and why you'll see like a Tom Brady in Madden Mobile 21 that's 81 on someone's team that is using him as a field general. And then if you kind of use Tom Brady with the mobile archetype, then you're going to see him not being fully utilized, and a lower overall at 77. So that was kind of the main update that we learned this past week. Last week I skipped a video because I didn't want to make a Gauntlet series video, because the Gauntlet Masters are basically the exact same thing that are going to be coming to Madden Mobile 21. But that is kind of the overall update as to what is an archetype, why are, there going to be differences between cards, and yeah, so the picture here is a screenshot from Madden Mobile 20, the game that we have right now. So this is not how the card art is going to look. Next week, we are going to have some more looks and sneak peeks at some card art and what the actual game will look like with some unique design art. Some of the most popular questions when it comes to Madden Mobile 21 is, one, is Power returning? And we talked with Nick Basita, and he said yes, Power is unfortunately returning. He said that basically it was going to be like Power, or it's going to be chemistry. EA is going to do something like that to the game, but he thinks that the way that they've kind of redesigned it is going to help not be so over powerful and dictating of moves and how you design and build your team. So hopefully Power takes a step back. He also talked about the trading aspect of collectibles that will be coming to the auction house and a brand new auction house revamp. So for those of you that are looking for gameplay, you guys can subscribe to this channel because we will be updating you with gameplay and features and all that stuff. We'll be talking about the auction house changes very soon. But when it comes to gameplay, Nick is trying to get that within the next week or two, which will be really cool. So once we kind of get to see what the gameplay looks like, I'm not really expecting that much of a difference between the current gameplay because Madden Mobile innately is not a gameplay beast engine. It's supposed to be a card trading game that really does a great job at providing cards and packs, cards on the auction house, cards to sell, cards to trade, cards to exchange. So we'll see how the gameplay looks, but I'm not expecting too many high levels of production because I like the way the gameplay looks, but there's a couple gameplay issues that, we definitely need to be fleshed out. So that is the update for this. Another update for the channel and for myself. I officially just recorded the first episode of the Slaycast, which is going to be available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you listen to. And that is a Madden Mobile official podcast. Well, not official. I'm not a part of EA, but I will be doing a weekly Madden Mobile and NFL podcast. And you can find that wherever you listen to podcasts. So hopefully they'll be entertaining. They'll be around like 40 minutes to an hour long every single week. And maybe, we'll have some guests on. We'll invite some of the EA people on, have some interviews, have some real conversations. And I'm excited for that whole shebang. So that I can show you the art right here on the screen. That's what it's going to look like for the podcast. It's still being submitted right now. So I will give you guys the green light and the thumbs up once the podcast is officially out. But as of now, this is the update here. 4th of July. Hopefully you have been, having a good grind with the current promos. You're probably asking, why did I make a 4th of July video? You probably don't care because the game is kind of boring and I don't really care to make crap videos or guides that aren't really relevant to you. I'm really kind of building up, taking a rest, getting excited for Madden Mobile 21 because we're going to go hard. We're doing crazy live streams. August 6th is coming. It's less than a month away officially. Today is July 7th. So I love you guys so much. I'll catch you in the next video. Peace out.